you guys hear me?
Check.
Can you see us?
I got a green light on my mic. Check.
I'm dressed like an Eskimo because I'm always cold.
I'm dressed like I'm at the beach because I'm always hot.
Hello, hello.
Is anybody there?
They're there. What's up, everyone?
Hello. Thank you for joining.
We went live a little early.
There's a Botox commercial on the computer.
Is there?
That's us.
We're old.
And you guys watch White Lotus, that show?
We came on a little early because, I don't know, we were ready.
Yeah, we're here. You know, sometimes we're late, sometimes we're early. Jets are flying today.
Mm-hmm.
Remote-controlled fighter planes. They're right outside.
Mm-hmm. Hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome. We're just letting the room populate a little bit.
Checka. I'm laying pipe and cutting it in half. We'll get into this whole operation soon.
Wow. So long.
We're still on commercial. See the chat rising, but I don't know, is it delayed here? Is people actually watching us? Or are they hearing us?
Well, not everyone gets commercials. Yeah.
It's complicated.
Hello.
Is it officially
Rhonda.
1 p.m. yet?
Hello. Mary Rose White asks.
Yes.
Mary Rose White asks, hey Ian, could you say hi to Pat from Ireland? Please, that's my dad. He's a big fan. Heart.
Pat from Ireland. Hello. Welcome. I'm actually Irish a little bit on one side. Monaghan from my mammy's side of the clan.
Yeah.
As is Jamie.
Yeah.
So hello, Ireland.
What's up, everyone? I just want to say a shout out to a lot of friendly faces. Smoke Shop.
What's up, Smoke Shop?
CJ, Berserker Garage.
Oh, wow.
Rhonda's here.
Wow, everybody.
John, Hoog even.
All the nobility.
I like that name. Saying hello.
So yesterday, if you guys saw the live.
You mean the video? It wasn't a live.
It was live when we were doing it, okay?
True.
So we're live right now. If you saw the other pre-recorded video, we're getting little Jewel in action. We got the camper out of the shop, got the caddy out of the way. We're gonna need some floor space. And we have a separate zone. We're gonna be working at the shop for a short time and another workshop because little Jewel's big. It's gonna need its own hut.
Workshops all over the place.
Yeah, we're gonna need to create some kind of a gantry. If you remember the other shop, the ceiling was this high. So now we got some floor space. We have welding potential in 2 other locations, and we got to come up with a gantry. And I think those guys from Mojave have what I need. They're building this big gantry, so
are they really?
Yeah, huge. So it's a truck axle with 2 jacks, and it's a towable. So it's this huge, like semi-truck size gantry. So that's cool. Maybe they can help out.
Those guys are always doing. They're really cool. You guys will like.
Yeah, they help clean up some more of the stuff out of the ranch, so that's cool news. What we're talking about today is the layout of the chassis of Little Jewel, you know, a complete departure from what our 2 other tries were. You know what they keep saying? Keep throwing it at the wall, something's gonna stick, right? So no front wheel drive unit, no flame truck unit that's this tall off the ground. We're using the center section of the frame from basically the radiator back to the tail shaft on the transmission. And we're gonna create the rest of the chassis here and there, try to bring it all together. Big, heavy parts. I got the axle, the rear axle up on the trailer. With the tractor, I did that to get it over here because we have to take some measurements. What we're trying to do is create a Z'd chassis, but big size. So I'm laying out some stuff here. I'll draw a small design on the table right now. I got my chalk, and then we're gonna lay it out full size. The stub, the rear stub and the front stub are going to bolt to that chassis because it's pretty much agreed we don't want to weld to that. So huge units that bolt front and rear to that engine cradle, for whatever you want to describe it as, because I don't want to build a whole new frame. I like the way that is set up, and it's super strong. We're just going to add to it using 2-inch diameter round tube, 1/8 wall, heavy stuff. I mean, that's a reference. That's big. So yeah, I've done some other stuff with that. People reference the hot rod fire truck. Yeah, it's a very similar design.
There's just a giant tire.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the other little Jewel stuff, yesterday I had it mocked up with those semi-truck, dualies. These are super singles. These are almost 17-inch wide on the sidewalls, almost 40-inch diameter. So they are 445, 50, 22.5 So that's a heck of a lot of tire.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. We're, about 39.5-inch diameter. So that's what's going in the back for that hot rod look. And then the fronts are the smaller size semi-truck tires. I'm not sure what the size is offhand, but that's why I got one tire out. I got the axle on the trailer, and this is what we're going to attempt to do in full size. Ready for my cartoon rendition? Let's see how it goes. This is live, so I might do some erasing.
Okay.
We got our front tire, right? And I'm thinking...
And then it's a little shiny.
Little Jewel.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Can we go on that side, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to keep the door open for now because we're going to have to go back and forth.
Yeah, I think this will be better over here, hopefully.
I don't know. Now I'm drawing backwards. This is like a whole different thing.
Uh-oh.
Front tire.
Yeah, you can see it better.
Okay, snub nose, windshield, roof. Not to proportion, not to ride height, anything like that, right? Okay. So you got your whole... I'm going to try to cut that frame and get the engine. No radiator fan or anything because that's going to be separate. Okay, so your engine is right here, somewhat. And then our frame comes out. We're going to leave it pretty much to where that transmission comes down. Our drive shaft is there. So what I want to do, you got your big tires here, right? Not really that big, probably that big. But you got to Z the chassis. You see it all the time with hot rods where you come up. So your axle line is here, right? X amount from the ground, whatever that is. With our 40-inch tire, approximately 20 inches to center. But we have the whole differential, the airbags mount up, up, up. You got airbags up here. So you got to come up, potentially from here, you got to come up over those airbags, right? And it's got to be strong. So let's just say if we're this wide, roughly, to take that up and over, in rudimentary form, you need to have this big shape coming up so that it'll lift with the air suspension. What I want to do is take those 2-inch tubes and I want to put one top and bottom like this. Wow, look at that strength. Breaking chalk with my bare hands. I want to take the 2-inch round tubes, more delicately looking, right? And I want to put it top and bottom of the chassis, right? Bolted through right here, and then big plates around with bolts in here, however many it takes. So we're bolted top to bottom, in and out. And this, I don't know. Will it be a truss? Will it just have vertical cross members? I don't know, but check it out on the floor. You get a better description. Any questions? Am I going too fast?
No.
I'm excited. I haven't slept right since I got this idea in my brain. I woke up this morning. I told Jamie, man, I sleep so much differently out here in the desert in our camper.
Yeah.
It's got me all inspired.
We've been staying in the desert this week, and it's been pretty nice.
I was thinking about how we would describe that. Is it like a captain going down with the ship?
What do you mean?
Well, we're not on a sinking ship, but the time is limited, and we're just hanging in there. We're on the deck of the Titanic right now, watching everything unfold around us.
Well, I think with the desert, I was telling Ian this the other day, when we both lived in the desert together, Ian was working for Full Custom Garage, and he was just always building and never, you didn't really have a chance to enjoy the desert. So like now that we're doing YouTube and working just more for ourselves, I think it's more enjoyable.
A lot of the pressure is
out
off.
there. Yeah.
I used to just get in that dune buggy and start guzzling beer at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Now we're just hanging out.
And now we're just like hanging out. We still guzzle a little beer, but
well, I'm talking about a decompression action.
Yeah. Oh, he's putting on his reading glasses.
You know what green is for? Money. All right. Have you ever seen anyone stretch a cow into a van on steroids? Say what? I just read that. I didn't write it. What's up, Brazil? Hello. Thank you for joining the rest of us. Berserker Garage thinks I'm a comedian. That's excellent.
He is pretty funny.
So here's what I was just describing in our drawing. I'm not sure if the chassis is 12 inches. We're going to have to go back to the shack and figure that out. But I just set these up as if, right? As if that they would straddle that frame. And our bolts, they're going to have a pipe welded through here with a good grade 8 hardware holding them. And then I got this. I just went to the steel supply, so we're all a bit rushed this morning. We're putting a lot of miles down this week. I got 1/4 inch by 4.5 flat plate. Again, remnants. I just use what I find out there. So imagine these, welded in on the inside. So we're gonna have to build this kind of on the truck, like a series of these 1/4 inch thick flat straps, just grabbing it as far as we can. I'm estimating about 5 feet or less, maybe 4. So yeah, we got enough for 4 straps right now, but I got this huge other plate, plenty of stuff. So what I was gonna do for the live is do a little working out on the tube bender. We got this big old tube. I got the dies in the machine. A couple things we'd have to consider. That's where we're gonna go to the axle on the truck. Hopefully the sunlight doesn't distort too much. These tires are approximately the same as the Super Singles in diameter. Those are coming out just under 40 inches. These are 41.5. So, maybe an inch difference. Not too critical because this thing is not going to lay on the ground. The oil filters and the pan on that, the transmission pan especially, are hanging down. And if this thing does lose air or it's going to be a long wheelbase, I don't need it to lay out. I don't want it to scrape on a speed bump and break anything. So what I decided, again, chassis is way over there. Like on a good day, I can make it in 15 minutes.
You pointed its way over.
Outside those snow-capped mountains.
That way.
So I'm thinking roughly, when I put this axle next to the chassis as it sits, it's at 18 inches. So we're gonna imagine that our chassis height is gonna be 19 inches off the ground. We can always just put some shims under the airbags if we need to. So bottom measurement is 19, then our airbags are sitting at 29.5. That's 19 to 28.5. I'll take off my gloves. This is what I do nonstop. I've imagined this and I've run through it so many times. So our ground height this line is our chassis. The surface of the earth is down here, 19. So let's make that mark here. And chime in if I'm doing something backwards, please, because it's not like I actually know what I'm doing. I mean, I've done things before, but this is live. And I'm prone to make mistakes. Whoa. All right. And we're thinking about, again, we're just talking maybe a metalworking class, a shop class. I don't know. I don't want to bite other people's technique with doing appearances and work. But if there is some potential for that, we're exploring it.
Wait, so no, you're not biting other people. Like, people want to take classes from different people.
Yeah. That's
That's
what I said. I don't
all
want to bite anybody's style. I want to do what we do.
That's true. That's true.
Gene had the, the metal class with, you get your little certificate, etc. So
Yeah. We're actually thinking about doing, we had talked about it before, but with the encouragement of our friends, Lauren, Allen, Heidi, we're considering doing some actual workshops in the shop with other humans. So
aliens are welcome.
aliens are welcome.
All right, where was I? 28 and a half? Is that what I said? It's a lot of moving around. Nope. I said 29 and a half, but then I reduced an inch. 28 and a half from this measurement. So that's our ground. That's where the earth is. And we're at 28 and a half right here. So you could see that the airbags, that doesn't add up. The airbags are, I thought they'd be a lot higher up the chassis than that. Oh, we're imagining that the chassis is a foot. That's why. Because in looking at it, I was like, so the chassis is probably like 8 inches, but that doesn't really affect us. Yeah, so we'll stay at 28 and a half for this. Because we're gonna go off the bottom rail. This one is the debatable where it sits, height to the ground. All right, 28 and a half. No. So that's where the bottom of our airbags sit, right here. And our tire is somewhere in here, roughly, 40-inch diameter. So maybe we should make a ghost tire image just to reference that.
A ghost tire image.
Things are large. All right, so that's pretty much where they're sitting. Right? Then our axle, roughly there, give or take.
You're doing some like CrossFit stuff right now.
It started by putting that axle on the trailer this morning. Just like,
You were.
no, I used the tractor. All right, so our airbags are at 28 and a half right here. Dig it? So I put one bag here in the vise because air down, we want to know how small they are. We did this with the Zephyr, and we did this yesterday, but you're going to see it tomorrow, the next day. Airbags closed 3 inches, give or take. Airbags open is big, but bigger than that.
Oh yeah, these are those giant airbags. That's right.
So with our axle being here, it is roughly 20 inches. So see, I'm doing some math. 28 and a half is our bottom of our airbag bracket. And then we're just going to say roughly 3 inches right here. So this area is where our little double bellow airbag sits. That's 5 inches. Guys needs to learn to draw. I said 3 inches because that's squished. I was drawing it inflated. So yeah, from here to here is where our bag is. So from our bottom chassis rail, we want to come up again. We got to measure this tail shaft. Well, we know the tail shaft's coming out of the transmission, but this stub of the drive shaft on the rear end, let's see how long that is. Come on around.
Oh, okay.
A lot of theory
Yeah,
right now.
drop those likes, everyone. I don't want to go too far away from the router. I don't know how far it goes.
So I don't know how well you can see, but you got your drive shaft and big universal joints here. So from the center point of our axle, we got to consider it's 22 inches just to the end of the universal joint. And we're running a very small drive shaft here, so it's going to get a little complicated. So from center of the airbags, so, you know, you got the differential in here, the drive shaft, the little stub, the U-joints. So that's our minimum of, you know, what we're dealing with there. Then from the rear of the transmission, I mean, how big a drive shaft do we want? As short as possible. I think a 16-inch drive shaft is miniature. That's like a really short drive shaft. Only because when you have this much travel, I mean, if those bags raise up, I don't know, how big do you think they get?
I have no idea. I'm working on the production side of things.
It's quite a 10 inches. So they rise 8 inches. And I'm sure they get even bigger. Well, I just said 8 inches, more like 7 plus 3 equals 10, but either way, 8 inches on a 16-inch. I feel like the nutty professor right now. So if you're here to here, let's just say it does rise 8 inches. Degrees-wise, like that's a pretty significant amount. I don't think it's going to foul the U-joints, but I mean, that might, you know what I'm saying? So maybe safely, it's cool to go with about this distance. In other words, our old frame will be cut off somewhere around here. So we need to come up with this angle to at least get to the bottom of, no, we want to get to the top of the airbags. So we need to come up with this, well, just to say, we're going to want to wrap over the bag, and those are 9-inch, let's just say, to keep it safe. They're probably a foot on the rubber. They're 13 inches. So let's leave 14 inches. Let's leave 7 per side. Right? So if we're out here, then we're going to want to hit this angle at approximately 3. And we can leave wiggle room because we can mount our cross members to hold these bags either below the tube, the center, the top. You know, this is where a knowledgeable CAD designer could really do something. But what I'm seeing for a rough start, this angle here, that's going to be the bottom rail. So it's going to kick up and go back. So if we're talking about maybe grabbing the chassis at a minimum, I cut these in half into 10-foot lengths. So maybe 4 feet minimum. That's 48. So you'd have this much grab on the chassis with multiple bolts. So you got 4 feet, 7 feet, and then more out the back. So let's make our first bend at 5 feet because we'll have a little extra here. We'll come up, we'll bend it right here. We'll do 2 of them at 5 feet.
So a couple,
little bends.
Couple comments. Allow for the diff pumpkin.
Check it out.
And then after that, I have another one too.
Yep. We are allowing for the pumpkin. You have this plate that I've already created. So the pumpkin is entirely below. We're talking about our top line here. The tubes are coming up here, totally out of the way. As per the schematics. So the diff is in here. It's completely below the airbags.
Okay. And then the other one was, is 16 inches going to have enough room for 2 UJs and a joiner tube?
I'm talking about 16 inches only for the drive shaft.
Ah,
So the universal joint is already in place. We accounted for that right here. And the drive shaft stub coming off of that is already 3 inches. So I'm giving a lot of wiggle room.
and then someone else said, draw the pinion up higher. That drive shaft is going to be way steeper than you think.
I like your thoughts.
Thanks, Alan.
That's why I just said that in real time. The drive shaft angle is going to be way steeper than what the drawing shows.
Because I'm not really always listening to everything Ian's saying, just so you guys know.
Yeah, I'll show you a little thing.
I'm reading your guys' comments, so I can go back and answer them. So
yeah, no, but that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because that's exactly correct. I'll be right with you.
If I miss something that you said, Ian, it's because, yeah. And Jerry Bailey, I hope your wife gets better soon. And somebody else commented about his son having a stroke. I hope he gets better soon.
Man, my toolbox is really falling down. We're going to need another tool sponsor. Some guys can go their whole career with one toolbox.
Hi, Heidi. Hi, Laura. Hi, Alan. Hi, Crafty Kate.
Hello, folks. Thanks for joining. So, Jamie, what we're describing, see, this is basically what the drive shaft has. It has two of these, one on each end. So as it's turning, it's just like what we did with the steering shaft, see? Like you're not going to be able to drive like that. It's going to go wonk, wonk, wonk. So the straighter it gets, the smoother it gets. So what'll happen is on the freeway, you'll just hear this like this huge harmonic vibration.
Ooh.
So yeah, look at this right here. This applies to no matter what, even though our U-joints are much bigger. Look at that steep, right? That's reasonably steep. I can feel some business just in this, so that's what I was getting at. Unacceptable. So, yeah. So it'll drive great right in the middle, somewhere around there. It's art, right?
It's art.
All we'll do is cut apart this 5-ton truck and reposition the drive shaft. How we'll arrange that in the end, of course, your bags do want to be flat when it's dropped, but we'll have hairpins. We'll have lower control arms that we can change the height of to change the pinion angle.
Cool.
Goes on and on.
And Brian, I'm glad you're feeling better. Brian from Kuyan Custom said, Jamie, you told the 3 nurses that you used to be an ER nurse and now you're an internet sensation, director, producer, filmographer, and pretty much keeps Ian happy and focused. If you guys have not noticed, sorry, I'm not done with my thought.
I'm not interrupting.
There's been a lot of stuff on the internet about nurse abuse, and that's part of the reason why I left the profession, and I speak for a lot of nurses in the same way. We left because of nurse abuse. And anyway, so I had to teach myself something else to do, and this is it. So anyway.
We dabble in internet stardom.
Anywho.
It's fun.
Back to the work.
Just going to get this out of the way, and we're going to put that big chunk of tube in here and bend it at 5 feet. Little lesson on drive shaft angles. A little cartoon animation on the floor. We're moving right along.
Looks very professional, though.
So I got the biggest. This bender is rated for 2" by 1/8. We're maxing it out. Can you imagine the force it took to smush that thing?
Where?
Look how deformed it is.
Oh my.
I think that was when I had the hydraulic bender. I decided I didn't like that. I like the slower handheld stuff. Yeah, cool. All right, so let's set that in there. And let's get our little angle of the dangle finder. We'll set that on the floor and we'll make a bend. Feel free. Just chime in at any time because this is not going to be exciting. You're going to hear me just huffing and puffing, pulling on this.
Well, when you were talking about all that, I didn't want to mess with your flow of thoughts.
Yeah.
Luis, the shop supervisors are at the ranch.
They're supervising.
Running around.
They love the desert, especially this season because there's no snakes out. And they get to rock and roll. We don't put any restriction on them except Lil, because she got sore back legs. Yeah, somebody was asking if we still had Lil, and yes, we do.
What'd you say?
Somebody was asking if we still had Lil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's just aging gracefully. We have our old bed, our king-size mattress is out on the porch, and Lil is chilling. She is chilling the most. She just hangs out.
We've been grilling a lot, so they've been getting lots of treats.
Yeah, she does not mind sitting on the porch, gazing at the bunnies, whatever else is going on out there. Yeah, this is heavy duty, so like I said, you're just gonna hear me making some noises. All right, let's set
I never know where to stand when you're working on that thing.
Yeah, that's another thing with the hydraulic bender. It was kind of just going, and it would hit things while I was using it. So this is a little bit slower. 5 feet's what we're looking for. And using this bender, that's something, I'm familiar with it, but if you haven't used one of these, you always got to think about how much material is being taken up as you pull it through. And if you're making duplicates, you always have the same points of reference. So a lot of times what I'll do is just put this right into the end of the die. Then I'll mark that other tube right at the same time. So you see there's a lot of wiggling and jiggling to make this happen, especially on the first setup. So
yeah, I usually edit that out.
Quarter inch. Excuse me?
A lot of slamming, cussing.
I know, I had to correct my methods while we were filming because I didn't realize I'm really hard of hearing. And I was blowing out Jamie's eardrums, throwing metal around. With this also, this is welded steel tube, so I say this a lot. See the blue line here, darkish, kind of different color? I use that as a reference all the time while bending. So see how this has the little stop nut? Just keeping that in line. And I don't know if it matters or not, but I always feel like bending on, the formed side. This is welded. I don't know if it's exactly the same strength or hardness. So I like to keep that on the inside of the bend. I don't know if it matters at all, but it's an easy reference for me. You're gonna need a bigger pin.
Somebody just said, if y'all could work on suspension and body panels, we can be sheet bags. I don't know what that means, but it seems funny.
I don't know if people use voice to text a lot or just the typing gets lost in translation, but sometimes I wonder where this stuff comes from.
And Brian Valley, the clean motor that was already in the Jewel, if you're talking about the one that was in the flame truck, it's going to go back in there. That thing is pretty awesome.
The flame truck engine?
Yeah.
Yeah, so originally the Jewel engine was this V8, whatever it was, big Chevy, big block.
Oh,
sitting over there in the corner.
Oh, okay, I think that's what he was asking about.
Yeah, the original gas-powered V8 is laying over there on a dolly. So, I don't know, maybe we got a hot rod in our future?
I mean, can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, all right, this is set up. We got 5 feet. Make a assessment on how much handle we're going to need to pull this.
Oh, man.
Where's our multi-tool? Remember our multi-tool? It was a sanding block. It was a...
Somebody asked, what's the hardest tubing you've ever bent?
Well, by hand, this 2-inch eighth wall. Big machines, it's effortless, but this thing is going to give a little bit of a muscle workout. Yeah,
Ian's going to be hulking out.
Remember we had that, where did I put it? I thought that was going to be a good handle for this, and I've been moving too much stuff around. I don't even remember what my name is sometimes. Any questions?
There are some. Drop a like if y'all are here, please. And Derek, I don't know why it's not showing up as you as a moderator. I'll have to check the back end of the channel again.
I don't know. It's only a 3,200
Luis,
square foot shop.
We're going to keep this effort for ourselves. This truck Ian's building for himself. Right now, all the projects are personal projects.
Did you see me just walk around the shop 50 times?
Yeah, I did.
It was right there.
Yeah.
Look, there's our handle.
And somebody is on here. Ian did not send you a friend request today. There's a lot of scammers.
Beware of Lan Roussel.
We do have a private Facebook group. Pretty safe. There's no scammers that I'm aware of right now in it. I try to vet everyone, so it takes a little while. So if you join our YouTube community, that is the only place on Facebook that we own besides our own personal pages with the blue checks. Don't get scammed, y'all. They're getting tricky.
Yeah, we got a ways to go.
Get to work, Ian.
Actually, not that bad with this tube. I mean, this longer handle. So what I was saying is now that we're approaching the mark, I usually use the ratchet as a defining point. So right here, we just closed, and I can make a chalk mark on the ratchet tooth. Yeah, we're gonna come up one more. That way our next one is in the same orientation.
Brian, the ranch from here is about 10 miles-ish. It's way out in the sand.
But to drive, you gotta go like that.
And the road is horrible. I hate it. And there's puddles. Muddy puddles right now.
We've had a dry winter, and there's still mud out there.
And
because when it rains, it just sits.
Yeah, it does. And the temp,
there we are.
David, today is about 70.
Yeah, we had some wind last night, but today is perfect. All right, cool. So that's that. Let's lay this on the drawing. Let's see what we got. So see, I put the little chalk right here.
Mm-hmm.
That way we know to stop when that one on the second piece hits that. So we said 5 feet on the truck. It's approximately where we want it. So that's definitely up higher than we need. But that's cool. I'll work with that. Because what we want to do, doesn't matter where this changes its course. Actually, it's better, I think, if it's up above. Oh, you know what? My bad. This is going to hang below the chassis. This is sitting down here. See?
Oh, and it's almost perfect.
That's why you can never trust this guy. I'll change my mind at a moment's notice. So we want this to come out, basically parallel and shoot up and back. So let's just think about this for a minute. If we have this angle, yeah, let me get a chalk.
Okay.
I'll explain. Because, okay, here's a complicated issue. With any machine with this type of arrangement, any kind of clamping on your drop saw like I have, there's always a clamp. You got to consider where your material is going to let you creep up to the tool. Otherwise, you'll have to join it if you need it really close. So I'm already seeing our limiting factors right here. I'll explain as I grab that and put it into place. Wait, was I using the short one? Yeah. Use that one. All right, so see where it's gonna, when the tube comes in, this area here. No, we got plenty of room. I'm just gonna wing it. Let's just mess around and find out.
Wing it.
It's hard to guesstimate, but I'm thinking if it's about this far out where it crosses, it's about 2.5, 3 inches. So I'm going to guesstimate about that distance here. I'm going to say right here is going to put us pretty close to what we want on that bag top. So just to say, We don't want to lose that mark now because we're going to have to double this up. Let me put that with marker, magic marker, so we don't lose the chalk reference.
And welcome to new channel members. We appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I see you over on the side of the screen. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Okay, so we have 5 feet where we put that in. That's what I was saying. If you're making multiples, you want to make it count. So we came in, we put the tool at the end of the die at 5 feet. That's right here. We're going to want that reference. Just put a 5. And then we're going to put it into here. And that's how we can make sure we get 2 of the same. And you see how this line here is on the side we're using. By laying it flat here, we're going to verify that this is going to be at that bolt right here. Let's plug it in. Yeah, we're going to bring that right to here. And again, I mentioned the wiggling and jiggling. That's where it gets real exciting. As I try to bring it all together. Seasoned pro. All right, now this has to be turned this way perfectly. Let me take this off for a quick look. We're looking for that marker line. It's hiding in there. I mentioned the jiggling, right? Here we are. Okay, so that is going right in to that line. Chop that. And would you grab me that little wrench right there, please? See the little crescent wrench? It's got the little dial on it. Yeah, that's perfect.
Crescent wrench.
Well, it's
There
more
you
of
go.
an adjustable
There you go,
wrench.
doctor.
Thank you. So, yeah. So I got this marker line locked in to our bolt because this is going to stop this tube from swiveling. Because I'll get to that when we stand back and take a look. Especially on such a mild bend like this. You really can't reference the angle of the tool because it's on the table and it's not horizontal at all. It's on a trailer hitch, so it wobbles around quite a bit. Come on now. Yeah, okay, we're getting there. A little twist. Get that locked. Cool. All right, so I've done this a lot on TV, but I've never explored this with our YouTube audience. Do you see how the tool is just kind of limp in its holder on the table? It's all crooked.
Yes.
So even though I used that marker line, I'm not even going to trust that 100% because I'm looking at this. We need this parallel with that. That requires a big step back. Yeah, and I can see it's already got to come up a little bit. Maybe you could step back if you want, way back. See how loose that machine is in there?
Mm-hmm. I was afraid it was going to fall on me.
Yeah. Oh, it has almost. I'm going to get my big pipe pliers, give that a twist. Oh yeah, I have a history of smashed fingers. So you know what? And looking at it like this, it's just going to be a little twist. And again, there's machines with levels and lasers and all the things. But I've been pretty successful like this. Just a little twist. So when I'm standing back, again, I'm looking as if there was a laser level broadcasting across this whole thing at this angle. This is what I'm looking at right here. It's gonna be all right. So, yeah, I'm gonna pull this until they're parallel. Yeah. Probably right to that mark, give or take. You really start to see how much workshop you need if you're doing anything of this proportion. Yeah, I think if I take it right to that, you know, not a perfect world, but I'll show you how I'm gonna remedy that if it's not straight enough. Looking at that, no, it looks cool. Let's see. When I say it's not a perfect world, this tool has got some miles on it. Kind of like my sheet metal brake, it doesn't bend the same side to side, but it's able to bend this pretty heavy wall tube reasonably effortlessly.
Somebody said that super single looks hilarious next to the VW.
Oh, I had this mocked up when we first got the car in the shop. I mean, I took a picture and posted on Facebook because I had to. I mean, let's talk Hot Wheels. Right? Talk about the move. Yeah, it'd be pretty ridiculous. You know, I can't stop until it's in just the right place.
Matthew, thank you.
Yeah, that would be something.
That would be.
I think that poor VW engine wouldn't even be able to get that thing rolling. That thing is like those
I
two.
was just thinking that.
Those two tires would be like two giant flywheels. They would just take you right up the hill if you got up to speed.
That's funny.
The tires would just overrun the engine and just continue it on. All right. This is where I either look like a star or I make an excuse.
Whoa.
Oh, look at that. I'm going to take the star.
You did say you're going to have fun with a tube bender today.
Yeah. I think I might want to bend it just a little bit more once we get it on the truck, but I call that a keeper. Yeah, because see, as I was saying, our airbag, our 3 inches, we can mount here, we can mount down the center, or we can mount on the bottom, but we're covering a little bit of that, and that's cool. So, yeah.
Good job, honey.
Thanks. You know, I planned it this way all along.
Everyone said, good job, Ian. You get a star.
We're doing this for you guys. We're doing this for you. Otherwise, I'd just be here alone doing this. Any questions? All right. Somebody said, make it a VW trike. Interesting. Donald is asking if it's mild or 4130. This is just off the shelf mild steel tubing. Yeah, chromoly would require a little more detail welding and heat treat.
There we go. We're back. We're back.
It was the comments. People saw that.
Okay, we're back.
People saw that tire on the Volkswagen. We just blew up YouTube.
Right?
Again.
I don't know why it does that. You know, the whole app. Anyway. But we're back.
So let's
Yes, Lawrence, it was a film fart. Yes.
What happened?
He said it was a film fart with that. That's funny.
Yeah. Gremlins, shop gremlins.
Short glitch. Lara Manuelos, yup.
Whew. All right, let's go. 5 feet. 5 feet into the die. 2 inches more. See, once you get the system, it moves along a little more quickly as well. And there is going to be a lot of cutting and bracing. I have the tube notcher here. All the cross pieces, they'll be notched as they should be. I'm just going to try to bend this one up without it dragging on too much.
Go around to the other side.
So yeah, if we were to have any kind of a metalworking class, there would be a lot of this. It would just be pretty much like you're seeing on a live. A lot of standing around, waiting for the action. And then the action happens. So welcome.
He's warming up to the idea, kids.
I mean, show me the person. I want to see the person that isn't self-conscious in some way or another. I mean, it's fun to dance around here like I know what I'm doing, but peril is around every corner. I built, if anybody saw Back from the Dead, Boris, Big Boris, the car carrier, his bed was all this 2-inch height wall. I made those big arches on that machine by hand. 20-foot long truck bed, big, graceful arch, with nice hard 90-degree bends. It's back when I was young and out to prove something. All right, so we've arrived. We're gonna lay it on top of that one and duplicate those marks.
Oh, that's cool. Somebody said he just introduced his 9-year-old to Back from the Dead last night. That's cool.
People say you're just a wee lad. I was 33 years old. I look like a kid with a mustache. I was 33 years old.
That's how long Ian's been doing this.
Now I'm 54. I'm all washed up.
Southern California culture. Because you're what, 54 now?
Sure am.
So he's been here doing it for a while.
Okay, grooving. Yeah, and these materials, when they come in 40-foot lengths, a lot of time they're oversized by a little bit. So that little mismatch at the end doesn't bother me one bit because I measured a hard 10 foot.
Are you coming back over here?
Yep. You see our marker line right around there? Even though our lines on the floor don't 100% match up with this, we want to make these tubes count. Because again, our marker lines are just that. That was just an idea. Now we're coming down to the actual make it match. Cool. So we did that, and now we're going to bend right here with our set screw. Stick it in the machine. Why does that seem backwards for some reason? It's not like I haven't put this machine together 5 million times.
Right.
There it is. All right.
You bringing that over here?
Correct. Yep. Now it's going to plug right in. Whoa. I said it is. Well, that right there. That here. And that here. Come on. Let's put the longer one in there. There it is. Now we want to twist that into parallelism. That's going to be twisted up there like that, roughly. I want that to tighten this way. Okay. Yeah, using that trailer hitch stock in the table, it's a good option, but you see, That tool's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where this other aspect of laying that piece across really helps.
Well, I could see where like you have to make sure it's parallel, like how you did the stick.
Otherwise, right, you're going to come up and over like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Let me get my light and peer into that.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. If you're here, drop a like. We appreciate y'all being here, tuning in to our weekly lives. Definitely keeping the live going every week.
Left the light on all night.
Oh, no.
I was going to say something about the Zephyr. We did some cool work. That video will be coming out.
Yeah.
Made some groundbreaking progress yesterday.
We did.
So you'll notice, again, I was just having a little dyslexia moment. Am I doing this backwards? I think I am, right?
I don't know.
Because we want a left and a right. Do I need to flip that? No, I'm doing it correct. Because I've wasted some material, let me tell you. No, I think we're good. This drill has a little light on it. I can look in with that. Yeah, right where it should be. All right, let's take one little final look.
That's fine.
Stand way back. Oh, it's got to go down. Definitely got to go down. Is that our friend Z?
Huh?
Is that our friend Z? Or just another tall fella?
That looks like it.
Nope, now it's got to come up.
No, that's not him.
Okay.
No, it looks like him. But
We have a couple friends around, and I was going to ask this guy. He's privy to some really awesome airplane parts. And for our link arms for that axle, we're going to need some massive end links, heim joints. I don't know.
I bet he'll hook you up.
I mean, I'm looking for surplus. When I did the hot rod fire truck, there was a place down in the San Fernando Valley, but I don't think they have that anymore. You know, we need like a heim joint with like 1.25 inch center diameter, just heavy, heavy stuff to keep that axle attached to the truck. Yeah. Okay, so looking at it right here, that's what I'm seeing. That's gonna work. Okay, let's pull it to the same notch with the arrow. Got our pins in. I'm gonna check this once more. Now that there's some tension on it, because this really does count. It either works or it doesn't right now. Once you're bending, you can't correct. Looking over the top of that, looking at that pipe, we are in gear.
Thanks for not throwing that down. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Let's go around the dial. We'll match these up. See what's next. I don't really know how wide that truck chassis is. I wish it was here, but we're going to try maybe a live at the house.
Well, we just got Starlink delivered hopefully today. So we're hoping to do some lives, yeah, from the house, provided the Starlink works.
Yeah. We have fiber optic here, and I can't imagine that that's a cause of our glitches, because that stuff is really fast.
I think it's YouTube.
So we worry that just cell signal Might not work out there for live. All right. Cool. So let's loosen that up. Nice. Take that out. Yeah. All right. All right, we got duplicates. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So that's just the bottom. The top's
Wow.
going to be a whole different story. I think I'm going to take this out to the shop and just look at this, come back, but you guys don't have to stick around for that. I'm just going to get out the tubing notcher and set up a couple things right here. Because one thing I know is that the airbag mounts are a certain spacing apart, so I'm just going to work on that. Any questions?
Lawrence, definitely going to be checking out the planets aligning on Friday. It is a new moon, so it's pretty dark in the desert. Actually, you can see the sky better up in the mountains than you can in the desert.
We were
believe it or not.
surprised. I didn't think about it.
So much light pollution. We're at our ranch. It's kind of crazy. And up in the mountains, it's very dark, except for our one neighbors with their annoying lights.
So if you're watching, neighbors,
Neighbor that
turn
lives
off your
directly
annoying
across the
lights.
street from us with your lights.
I got some sweat going. It's not even hot out.
You can see everything up there, including the Milky Way. And so, yeah. It's sweating. Got his workout on. And I think it's glitchy, a little glitchier this week because we're working on this end of the shop and my router is...
It's behind that wall with that
behind
metal
the wall
there.
in the office. So...
Maybe we'll move it into the doorway. I noticed when I did that with the security cameras, it really helped.
Yeah.
I just moved them closer.
I don't know. Brian asks, when you're done lining up the rails, will you box them?
So maybe we didn't communicate that in the beginning of the video. They're going to be boxed to a point. So what the truck chassis is a big C channel, typical of almost every type of vehicle that we like to work on. The tubes, let me grab one here.
Okay, you're going to come back over here.
Yep.
I'm trying not to give you all seasickness.
That's why you are the director of photography. Got your C channel, right? So this is a flat wall here. We're going to put these tubes on and bolt them to that C with these heavy plates. So it won't be boxed. These won't need it. It's going to be like a cool structural, almost like you see those monster truck chassis with the big triangulated pieces of tube in there. It's going to be a little bit like that, if that answers your question. Looking at this axle, I'm going to put these bags on there and take a measurement.
No, Alan, we're not going to do wasteland.
Let's see, we already had our holes decided on that piece that I built.
You're coming back, yeah?
Yes, indeed. I'm just plugging these in where they were. And you can see these buttons where the old leaf springs used to be. So we do have some bit of measurement there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a plate that mounts those airbags with the holes and some cross braces. Because what I'm trying to do is sort of prefab a kit, bunch of pieces that I could bring over there, maybe with the welder and the tube notcher. So these pieces, we're going to say are a 41-inch maximum. And we know that for our bags to be happy, we want 2 foot. And our bolt holes are going to be, yeah. So let's get a 2 foot piece of that steel. gonna have to cut this with the disc. Just gonna do some bouncing back and forth.
Okay.
And if I'm boring any of y'all, chime in. We'll switch up the operation.
No, there's 1,600 people, 1,634 people watching. Hi,
Well,
every single one of you.
if we were all 1,600 of us sitting here building a truck together, this is exactly how it would be going. Waiting for me to get my button gear. 5 inches is the center here. All right. So that's our center line on these bolts. And as I was just measuring with the tape measure, I realized it's not going to be accurate enough. So we're going to use this hard ruler and go back to the truck. So we got 24. Half of that is 12. We want to measure our outer bolts, our inner bolts, and then our air hole bolt. So I'll come right back. You don't need to see this. If you could hear me, our outer bolts are at 21. So our outer bolts are at 21. Half of 21 is 10 and a half. So we got, that's going to be this bolt. 21 is going to be this bolt. Now I'll measure our inners. Eight and a half. And there's 6 1/4 on center. So I'm going to come in 6 1/4 on each. Right there. Right there. And look, it matches 8 and a half. Amazing. Let's drill some holes. Thanks for the new drill bits. You know who you are. Look at that score. We do have some cutting lubricant now. It's in the car. We're going to have to get it, but I think we're just going to make a template off one of those bags for our airport hole.
Rob C.
Yes.
Professor. He said, it's amazing how much this build and nuclear submarines have in common. Smiley face, thought face, monkey with the hand over the mouth, hand over the mouth. Huh. Oh, wow, Dilbuck's Garage. Thank you.
Nuclear submarines.
Super chat. Thank you.
Heck yeah.
Wow.
That's a new drill bit right there. Make a template, one of them airbags. Let's see where this larger hole is going to go. The idea being, just like we're straddling that chassis with these tubes, this of course is not 2-inch, but our airbag mounts are going to have these. When I was saying, if we need it lower, we're going to go below, or we're just going to put them on the side. You know, we're going to level them up however we need to. But this will be the big plate across the top, with a strengthening web welded in as well. That way you can get the full contact on the top of that bag, which is about 9-inch diameter. And we're gonna have to modify this a little bit. I'll show you why, because the rubber bellows come over the mounting pad and we don't want to tear them. How far are we in on this?
70 minutes.
Everybody bored yet? You want to go back to your lives?
There's 1,700 people here.
700. Well,
it was funny. Ian and I were starting the live today, and the lives are getting easier. We're getting less nervous. You know,
I mentioned that about being self-conscious. I am, whether or not anybody gets that.
No, everyone's digging watching you work.
Yeah, well, this is what happens every day. So, welcome. Whoa. I bet I used Loctite on that. Heck yeah. That thing is some old news. That might not be coming out at all. Well, I have to come up with another idea.
Come on, Batista.
Nope.
Dang.
All right, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to draw some lines, and we're going to make our best guess. I'm looking across here as the center. Check. Now, if I was to consider what the right angle to the center of that was, again, I'm just guessing here. We can make this hole much oversized. If we're there, we're there. Now, is that center between the holes? We are 6 1/4 would be 3 1/8, 3 1/4, so we're within. If I move that ruler over, we're right on 3 1/8. I love it. Let's go 3 1/8 between these. So we're 6 1/4. We're gonna come right there. We're gonna shoot a square line to that. And we're going to reference this once again. It's gonna put it 3 inches on center. 3 inches out. That'll be our blowhole. It's where all the air will travel. Let's do the same to this one while we're thinking. What did we just say? 6 1/4 to 3 1/8. Square that off. Check. We're going to come 3 inches up. Measuring in. 2. 2. I'll take it. I'm thinking I'm just going to hole saw that with a larger hole saw. I think I'm going to pre-drill with this. In our move, I found some cool tools that I just ferreted away. They're just laying in this corner. I got some nice hole saws. Come on. Come on. There it is. So yeah, a little review of these cat tools. How long have we had them now? About a year?
The cat tools? No, we've had them like 3 years. Because when we first started the channel, you got like a box of them because you were still doing full custom garage.
You're right.
And then they sent you those, probably because of full custom garage. I think you've been using the heck out of them.
Then my review stands. I've been beating the heck out of these things for 3 years.
He really has.
And it's just starting to show its age.
I think they sent you some replacement batteries. I
haven't even touched them yet.
Oh, okay.
They sent me an extra grinder too. So we had our grinder like kind of falling apart. The bolts were coming out. Used some of our reviewers' comments and we put thread lock in that grinder. I am ruthless.
He really is. Wow.
Not a paid advertisement. I recommend these things. I've had the DeWalt, I've had the Milwaukee. These things are just taking it. They're taking the punishment.
You really have.
Or maybe I just don't work as hard as I used to. I don't know. Just thinking.
Could be a little bit of both.
I used to just get on that drill and
Well, when he was filming the show, he'd work sometimes
I
every
had to get
single
it done.
day.
Right.
Like he wouldn't have a day off for a month.
Yep. Those are the heady times.
For 6 episodes.
All right. See, I just drilled the center because on these I just have a shank of steel in there. So, man, is that lube in the car?
Yeah, in the back seat.
I'm gonna get the cutting.
It's
lube.
in the back seat behind the driver's seat.
Be right back.
It's green. You'll see it because the Ravens opened up the package.
Oh.
Now I'm gonna grab my water. I think I left it unlocked.
We might be locked out. Let me check. Let's
just-
check. Just because it's a nice hole saw and I don't want to dull it out.
Little intermission.
Nope, we're good.
This is a very messy office.
Oh, look at that. The Ravens did open it for us.
Oh, okay, cool.
This is what it's like living in Raven country. This is how your boxes show up. Luckily, they didn't get into the gear. Anchor lube. Let's try it. And that's what we were saying about the other tools that we got. We're not here just, selling you something. We're trying it out. See how this works. Put that on slow. That's fast. That's slow. Oops. It definitely cuts. So on this 1/8 inch, I think it's 1/8 inch plate. That'll take a while. But I ain't hearing no squeaking.
Laura Van Wheeler said they sent them some as well.
Yeah, everybody's using this stuff nowadays. If you see me using the WD-40, this would be smoking.
Oh, it's smoking now.
So there is some smoke, but that was a pretty fast cut, in my opinion. Again, reasonably new hole saw and anchor lube.
Oops. Major West, I don't know. We'd love to come to Brazil. He keeps on asking when we're going to vacation there.
I said we were getting our passports, and I still haven't done the paperwork.
You need to do your paperwork.
I need to do my paperwork. So again, cordless drill. I'm putting all my weight on this thing. It takes a beating. I got to say, this definitely added something to the equation. Because if you watch any of the other videos where I was doing this, it was squealing and heating and not cutting the same. So whoa. Is that drill getting tired, or is it me? There it is. Let's drill these two out. 3/8 bolts, and we should be able to, if the measurements are right, we should be able to. Let's spin that. Yep. All right. Let's see if it works. my little shop room. I'm getting a little more professional each time. Look at that. Ooh. There were days when I would do that with a bare hand. Here's where all that math adds up. Oh, I see one. I see two. Man, look at that guy. Sometimes you just luck out. All right. So that is our reference. We're going to have the 2 bags. I'm not going to cut this right now because it's going to be a lot of noise and nobody needs to see that. I think we're going to kind of wrap it up here. I'll step over and address any comments. But so yeah, the 2-inch tube. Those 2 rails are coming in like this down to the truck frame, and there's going to be double of those. So it's going to look more like this. Whatever spacing that truck chassis is, these straddle that. Then this, once we get the hard measurements, this welds to the tube and bolts through the truck frame, however many times we need it. And then 2-inch, whether they're X's, I don't know, top to bottom connections. And now, we're looking at the side view. So this goes through 2 bags with parallel 2-inch tubes supporting that. It's pretty heavy duty. Let's go to the questions. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, just want to thank everybody for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for the support, for the love,
Yeah.
and drop that like.
Yeah.
And yeah, just thanks everybody for being here, really.
Somebody said to have envisioning classes, hold them at junkyards. We'll rent a junkyard, a keg, we'll have a bonfire.
But the
And we will discuss.
one admitting factor, everybody has to have a tetanus shot.
And the insurance liability thing.
Yeah.
Nico's asking where we got that lube used. I don't know. It's called Anchor Lube. They sent it to us. That was right out of the box, literally.
Yeah,
so.
they wanted us to try it out and talk about it.
So far, I mean,
I'll be
drilled
emailing
4
them.
holes. It worked great. Yeah. Yeah. Someone's asking why not put the tube frame inside the C frame instead of outside. Good call. I thought about that, but there's a lot of rivets and other stuff inside. And I was thinking, we're just going to own the fact that it's kind of like a hybrid, right? You can see that we mutated this chassis. It's a tube subframe just bolted right to that. So I thought, exoskeleton style roll cage is just going to grab that truck frame and make the whole back end different. So that's why I decided on the outside. Yeah.
I like it.
Yep. Our brindle dog is named Blue. John is asking. So yes, for the record. Yep. All right.
And yeah, those are not prescription. They're just readers.
If you
Never
hadn't
reading
heard my story,
glasses.
I told Jamie if I have to wear reading glasses, I'm getting the weirdest ones. And this is just the beginning of it. So
True.
I don't see very good anymore.
Oh, there's another good question.
Ooh, what is it?
Hi, Ian. You can see it. Have you thought about doing a big reverse C-notch frame?
Reverse C-notch frame. Reverse C-notch. I'm not sure what that means. To put that below the axle? Yeah, we could do that. The only downside, in my opinion, is this truck being such a long wheelbase. I want to have as much stuff up off the ground as possible. The reverse C-notch would put everything below the axle, if that's what I'm thinking you're describing. And imagine hooking this thing up, like getting into a parking lot and it getting high-sided. You'd need a big tow truck.
It would be like the limo.
It would be like the limo out in the desert. Exactly.
There was a limo that got stuck.
But in reference to the reverse C-notches, yeah, people do a frame flip where they put the frame under the axles. Sure, all that's cool, especially, for an old-fashioned race car. But this thing's going to be heavy. Like, you get your Volkswagen stuck, you can just kind of take a jack and move it over. This thing, you don't want it getting stuck. Trust me on that.
Nope.
So yeah, reverse C-notch. Heck yeah, it's an option. Yeah. Well, somebody said you didn't put that into thought.
That's
because
okay.
you haven't got enough lowered cars stuck yet. The Back from the Dead Roadster, the little tea bucket thing, not seen on TV. First time out of the shop, I go out down the street, everything's cool. I go to pull a U-turn, rip the oil pan right off of that car.
Oh no.
Oil everywhere.
I bet you were upset about that one.
Traumatizing. And again, on a schedule, got to make it happen. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
lost oil pressure, didn't break anything, shut it down. Oil everywhere. It's exciting.
Yeah.
So that's why with this big, heavy truck, I know even the measurements we're making, just the sheer weight of this thing, it's going to be putting the pressure on the tires, on the airbags. It's going to push down into the earth. Just trying to keep it raised up a bit. Yeah.
And that's about it. We got a video coming out this week.
Yep.
For
I
the
don't know.
Zephyr.
I'm all amped up on this thing. I'm going to keep going on it, and we'll just film as I progress.
We'll try to do some more content down out at the desert. It just was really windy. So it's hard to do microphones in the wind, and these microphones do not come with wind covers.
Yeah, somebody just asked about the Road Zombies car club from that video. So I don't know what happened with the club. Bill Wishart, I heard that he was still just doing his teaching gig. Steve Caballero, the skater. I don't know that he's a road zombie anymore. We see Alex Gambino regularly at car shows. He's with the Beatniks. I don't know if the road zombies exist. So yeah, that's the story with that.
Yep.
Well, cool.
All
I feel
right.
satisfied. I'm going to load all this gear on the trailer and go take a look. See how it adds up next to the frame. And I'll post on Insta, Facebook, the Facebook group. Yeah.
There's us.
That's a nice Zephyr back there.
I know, right?
We'll see you next time.
See you guys next week.
Thanks
Thanks for being here.